gentlemen, welcome back. I am your host, Chris Crenshaw, and we are live from the 704 once again for episode 105 of the 815 Exchange. And welcome to the final episode. It's been, it's time to hit the interlude. The summer's over interlude, so, cue that up in the playlist because our time is coming to an end in summer 2022. Now, I do not know how your summer 2022 went, or summer 22. Yeah, we'll just call it summer 22. Don't know how it went for you, but it has been, unironically, summer 22 was a movie for me. It was a movie. It was electric. After what, it was supposed to be at the start, and what it looked like it was going to be, even sometimes during the spring, summer 22 definitely lived up to the hype, for sure. So I will say that. Also, it is our vaunted last episode from the Black Couch. So I've enjoyed this couch. It is very, very comfortable. A lot of memories on this couch from this summer. But yes, this is the last episode, I guess, on the Black Couch. So everybody say bye-bye to the Black Couch. Everybody say bye-bye. I'm not going to say my room number, obviously, for privacy. But I will be moving this week. Back, actually, we might see the blue couch again. Not the blue couch, but a different blue couch. We'll see. I don't know what color the couch is going to be next week. But it's the last one on the Black Couch. So enjoy this background. It's been fun. We might have a behind us next week. So we'll see. But it's been fun. A lot of memories in this room. A lot of memories in this apartment. But summer's over, coming to an end. But we still have stuff to talk about in sports. A lot of drama in racing, especially F1 that we'll talk about in the Roundup. Combat sports, I didn't even know if I was going to have anything to talk about or even worth making it a major topic. But then last night happened. So we got to talk about that. And of course, that'll kick us off. But as always, if you're looking to skip ahead, if you want to go to the MLB segment, you want to hear me talk about the Yankees in a negative light, finally, whatever it is, entertainment, whatever it is, timestamps are in the description. I understand it's long-form content. Feel free to skip ahead. Also, if you're on mobile, it will actually tell you which segment you're in. So, privileged shout out to YouTube for that feature. Also, all my social media links will be found there. So if you want to keep up to me in life, IG, Snap, TikTok, Twitter, all of that is in the outro, but also in the description. And as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. But like I said, welcome to episode 105, Summer's Over interlude. Let's get it. Combat sports. Alright, combat sports. UFC fight night. Don't know what number. I'll figure it out, of course, because I have to put it as one of the hashtags. But, UFC fight night. My. For only, I believe, the 6th or 7th time in UFC history, and the first time in a very, very, very long time, we had an event with all finishes. Now, I believe I titled one of these previous episodes of the 815 Exchange not too long ago, I think this year, actually, all of the finishes. Well, this one was actually all of the finishes. We went 10 for 10. We went 10 for 10 on fight night. 10 for 10, so I have to cover it like it's a major event. Because how many times will you ever see us go 10 for 10? We didn't go to the judges once. Not once on this card. It was an absolutely insane card to watch. I had to turn to it because I was like, okay, I was looking, at some of the fights before we got to the Ultimate Fighter finals. And I was like, KO, sub, KO. Okay, hold on. What's going on here? It just felt like there was something in the air, and there was definitely something in the air. Of course, we're going to start off with the main event. The headliner was Jamal Hill taking on Thiago Santos. And, everything we say about Jon Jones, admittedly, over the past few years in his heavyweight push, I will say this, or really just the last 5 years, because he hasn't been Jon Jones in a very, very long time, or at least Jon Jones, the way we think of Jon Jones. Or we used to think of Jon Jones. But Bones has absolutely, nobody has faced Bones. The two people, right? Dom Reyes, Thiago Santos, that you could argue beat Jon Jones and should have been light heavyweight champion of the world, have not come back from those fights the same. Dom has fallen off a cliff and has gotten starched multiple times, including the biggest highlight, him getting brutally knocked out by the current light heavyweight champion in Jerry Prochka. and which was on every single highlight reel to the end of time. And now Thiago Santos, who has just not been the same. Of course, he blew out both knees, I think, in that John Jones fight. And respectfully, the hammer it's just not hitting the same. It's just not hitting the same. But you know who was hitting a little bit harder? Jamal Hill, because we were slugging throughout this entire fight. I mean, we were swinging and banging, in the words of Black Beast. And I guess Thiago Santos was playing the role of the Black Beast, at least the Black Beast in Texas. Because Jamal Hill landed, and boy, oh boy, did he land. I mean, they both landed, but Hill landed. He got Santos up out of there. Huge win for Jamal Hill, continuing that momentum, looking like he's kind of turning his career around in a little bit. Not that it was headed downward, but, you know, it was kind of stagnant. And now, pulling some momentum together, stringing together some W's, stringing together some victories. And a huge KO here in the main event. Main event, Ja gets it done versus the Hammer. Like I said, Santos just has not been the same since that John Jones fight. And, in his late 30s, it's not looking like it's going to get any better. Biggest surprise for me was, and what it was a car full of surprises, Jeff Neal KOs Vicente Luque. What? Now, Neal, by no means bad fighter, clearly not a bad fighter. But Vicente Luque, we were almost talking about as a world title challenger literally a fight ago. Literally a fight ago. And Neal went in there round 3, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I kept waiting for Luque. And we've seen Luque in wars before. We've seen him in trouble before. But I have never, ever, I was just in disbelief. He was in the deepest trouble I had seen him in, it felt like. Because I was in disbelief. I was in disbelief. Because I was like, okay, Luque, you know what, he's going to get back on track here. I had no clue. Neal looked like he was on, a different level from the Jeff Neal that we've seen before. That was a different Jeff Neal. That was a much improved Jeff Neal because he made a statement versus Vicente Luque. And, he was on. He was on. Undoubtedly was on. And, the body work, he was landing everything. And, of course, got Luque in round 3. And all credit due to Neal. He just looked like he had made that jump. We'll see if he can keep that momentum going because this is a massive, massive, massive win. Now for the Ultimate Fighter because it was the Ultimate Fighter Finals. And even though Juliana Pena was unable to prove that her earlier win this year versus Amanda Nunes was a fluke and lost her title last week, she was able to get the clean sweep in the Ultimate Fighter Finals. Muhammad Usman, yes, Kamaru Usman's brother, who wasn't that highly regarded, at least going into the Ultimate Fighter, besides his last name, looked like a world beater versus Pangwai here in the finals. KO'd him in round 2 with, a left hook that did not look, actually, it was being called a left hook. Or really just kind of a counter left, honestly. Did not look like it was, he hit him as hard as he had hit him with some other stuff, but it put his lights out. Put him to sleep. He starches Pangwai, who had a great story. But, both guys actually had a great story with Usman and his son, and Pangwai, just his story to get here. But anyways, Usman wins the Ultimate Fighter. Only brothers to ever win the Ultimate Fighter. Both of them win. So, congratulations to Mo. But I did not see that coming. But, we'll see if he can become, a contender in that heavyweight division. We'll see what happens. Miller respects some revenge versus Walker. Walker was talking wild. Even in the fight, she was talking wild. However, talk, you get hit. Alright? Talk, you get hit. Chat shit, you get hit. Alright? That's what happened. Walker, round 3, took out. Miller did what she do. Literally did exactly what, Walker asked her to, and, got the win. Very satisfying, because once again, like I said, Walker was talking crazy. Well done to Miller. We'll see what she can do in the women's division, and, see if she can make some noise. Congratulations to both Ultimate Fighter winners this year. And before I go to boxing and talk about the Jake and KSI and SM situation, Bo Nickel fights on Tuesday? I think Bo fights on Tuesday. So, Contender Series, they are not paying me to say this, but Bo Nickel is one of them ones I believe potentially might want to check that out. I will definitely be checking that out. Dana White's Contender Series this Tuesday. Bo Nickel is fighting headliner. We'll see what happens there. But boxing, Jake Hassan KSI, of course, Hassan again is still trying to deflect blame. Excuse me. He weighed in for the fight. I guess technically he made whatever the weight would have been. Which, if you could have done that, why did you back? You know what? Never mind. Jake then tried to call out KSI. KSI is supposed to fight Alex Wasabi. Wasabi allegedly has a concussion, might not be able to fight. Jake offered to step in on short notice. KSI said, hell no. We're doing this on my terms, basically, and we're going to have a full camp. Both of us getting a full camp with the full focus on each other when it happens, but it is not happening this time. So, yeah, just, usual stuff. I don't think Jake and KSI are ever going to fight, personally, but, yeah, we'll see what happens. Unfortunate for Jake, though, the whole situation and how that just kind of all fell apart. Again, like I said, this would have all been fixed if you just go fight Tommy overseas. Go fight him at Wembley. Go fight him at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Go fight him wherever, but just fight him in the UK. If he can't come to the US, go to the UK. Apparently that wouldn't be a problem for you to go fight KSI in the UK. So go fight Tommy in the UK if he can't get into the States. Moving on here, we are going to head over to, let's do the MLB, shall we? Yeah, let's do the MLB, and we'll let soccer, which is back in the pre, we'll talk about that in the main event. But the MLB, the New York Yankees are down horrendous. We cannot win a baseball game to save our lives. Jordan Montgomery, who we traded for whatever reason, even though we need pitching. Anyways, traded Jordan for whatever reason, then he shut us out yesterday. It's been misery. After a fantastic start in which I was singing our praises literally every week, literally every episode, it has been a horrid week. A horrid post-trade deadline. We are like 21-22 in our last, 53 or 43, excuse me. It's just, oh God. It's not looking good. Hopefully we can turn around. And, of course, I think we're being held together by how good we started. But it's just hasn't been fun lately. Hopefully we can get the offense back going. Hopefully we can figure out the pitching because it's not been pretty. And it seems like everybody can beat us right now. So we'll see if the Yankees can get back on track. But there possibly might be one team that is in more pain than we are. And that is Los Angeles Angels, as always. In a game versus the Oakland Athletics, who have the worst attendance, by the way, in the MLB. A's fans, where are you at? I know the A's aren't very good at having superstars, but come on, go to the stadium, go see your team. Oh boy. They hit 7 home runs. Yes, broke the franchise record for home runs in a game, hit 7 solo home runs. I think Ohtani had 2. They still lost. How do you hit 7 home runs in a game and still lose? I don't know, but that's the Angels for you. And now Mike Trout is injured. We'll see what happens, but the Angels are just a pit of despair currently in Anaheim. And, of course, the biggest news of the baseball week was Juan Soto is a Padre. The Padres and the Nationals made the deal happen. Of course, the Padres gave up their entire, and I mean their entire, I don't know if they have any minor leaguers left. They sent their entire prospect pool to the Washington Nationals and also traded Josh Bell. No, the Nationals, they traded Josh Bell, by the way, along with Soto for whatever reason. But anyways, they get the Padres' entire farm system, and the Padres gets absolutely disgusting. If Tatis comes back and it's still Tatis, that first 5-6 of that lineup is darn near murder's row. I mean, it's disgusting. It is disgusting. Machado, Tatis, Soto, Bell. Padres are trying to win. They said, we were the laughing stock for a very long time. We're done with that. It's over. We're here to win. However, you got to get your franchise player back. But again, now you have another franchise player. And of course, some might say, Machado, listen, they're stacked. All right? Offensively, they're stacked. We'll see what happens. But Padres get their guy. Nationals, better hope all of those prospects turn out, or this will be quite embarrassing in the long run. But of course, we'll see. It just kind of seemed imminent that they were going to give up Soto, but we'll see what happens there. But the Padres do get their guys, and they are absolutely loaded. Now for entertainment, we've had some loaded. As sports has cooled down this summer, we have had some loaded entertainment segments. So praise for that one. All right, I went to go see Bullet Train. That was listen. I don't know why. Well, I don't know. I don't know why the critics were so like 50-50. This was a good movie. This was a very good movie. Like, it wasn't like, okay, this is going to win an Oscar for Best Picture, or it was some emotional, like, it wasn't like all that. It was a good movie, though. It did exactly what it needed to do. It was a fun, great action film with great action sequences. Certainly better than The Gray Man. No diss to The Gray Man, because I said The Gray Man was okay. But I mean, the action sequences, the acting was fine. The story was, at the end it got a little but you know what? It was a fun movie. It was a fun summer blockbuster. I mean, and what more can you ask? It was just a nice movie. You go to the movie theater, you sit there, and you're going to be entertained. And that's what I wanted from this movie. That is what I wanted from this movie, and that is what it delivered. So it is all good with me, and I would highly recommend it. Brad Pitt killed it. Joey King killed it. I mean, we saw Michael Shanahan, and we saw, listen, well done. Well done. Bullet Train, very good movie without spoiling too much. Go see it. Honestly, go see it. Action, listen, it had it all. ATJ and BTH had great chemistry as the twins. They really were the heart and soul of this movie, even though Pitt was definitely the main character. Brian Tyree Henry and ATJ's characters were the heart and soul. And Romeo and Juliet, just that type of level of a combo in this movie. They were just perfect together, and they just played off each other so well. So yeah, great job, Bullet Train, fantastic movie. Go watch it because it was great. In TV, I am almost done with Superman and Lois, which conveniently dropped season 2 on HBO Max. Which, by the way, Discovery, I swear, we will have problems. No peace. We will have problems. Alright? We will have problems if y'all get rid of HBO Max, which is the best. And once again, I'm not being paid to say this, though. HBO Max, if you want to sponsor the boy, go right ahead. This is the best streaming service. It is the best in terms of original content and just the catalog and interesting stuff. I always go over Netflix. And if Netflix has a certain thing I want to watch, I'll go see Netflix. But HBO Max to me just feels like I like going to HBO Max, even over D+. But you got the best streaming service. Do not butcher it. Just keep doing what you're doing. You don't have to mess with it too much. You really don't. I promise. I pinky promise. You really don't. You really don't have to. But anyways, Harley Quinn, episode 4, season 3, yeah. So Court of Owls we saw this time, and the kind of parody of them. That was basically Herogasm. Spoiler alert, obviously, on all of this. But Court of Owls, through a massive orgy, it was basically Herogasm. It was Herogasm. It was basically Herogasm. But yeah, once again, another great episode, just kind of in the storytelling, but also keeping with the comedy. That show balances it so well. And yeah, even Batman, Catwoman side plot was cool. They're great in this. Selena and Bruce. They were looking for Frank, as he is just been kind of mutated and is flopping everywhere and trying to find where he is gone. And once again, like, Harley V has been great. They've been great as a relationship, and they've been great in the show. So yeah, Harley Quinn, very funny show. And it was a madness this week. In music, of course, we had the Big Young Money reunion last night. So if you got to go to that, congratulations. You were so very lucky to see the Big Three in action once again. But speaking of the Sixth God himself, he dropped or gave DJ Khaled another throwaway. This one was called Staying Alive. Now, at first I was like, okay, it's alright. But I don't know what it was. And I wasn't convinced by the chorus. But the chorus, over this weekend and even today, has been stuck in my head. So I don't know what to think at this point. Now I'm like, okay, you know what? This might not be too bad. It came on in the gym in my playlist because I added to the playlist. I was like, sure, why not? His baby Drake, even at the minimum, is still a solid song. They kind of floated, even if it wasn't all that, and it was still a very, very short song. And I was like, this is kind of hitty. So I don't know. It's going to get the passing card for me, and it made the playlist. So we'll see. But it looks like that chorus might be a grower, because yeah, I did not. I just that I'm staying alive. I'm not gonna do the whole thing because I have no musical talent. But yeah, just I don't know, earworm. It just kind of got stuck in my head. And Staying Alive music video, of course, was solid as always. But yeah, I thought it was a throwaway, but I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it kind of bangs. We'll see. Like Drake, a lot of Drake's music just kind of grows on you, so we'll see what happens. Big 14, on the other hand, did not need to grow on me. That single from Trippie, Offset, and Moneybagg was fire from the onset. No pun intended. Like, literally from the moment it dropped, like, it was banger. Banger. Easy qualifying card for me. Yeah, Big 14, probably the best song I heard this week. It was heat. Absolute heat. Weeknd dropped a Best Friends song off of the album earlier this year, which was one of my favorite songs on the album, by the way. Dropped it with Summer Walker. There we go. Dropped the remix to Best Friends with Summer Walker. She didn't really do too much. He kind of hyped that up like it was going to be more. And it wasn't really long. Didn't really extend the song that much. But, you know, it was cool to see the layered vocals. Summer is a great vocalist, and Best Friends is still a banger song. So, you know, if you want to go check out the remix, if you're a Summer Walker fan, feel free to. It was fine, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. Like, he was like, she carried the song. Bro, you were still like 90% of it. But anyways, Best Friends, Summer Walker, Ebil, it was good. And YoungBoy dropped. Also, I did not listen to it, even though, not that I'm not a YoungBoy fan, not that I've listened. We've talked about YoungBoy albums actually on this podcast before. But it was 30 songs. You gotta stop with that, bro. You listen, I know it boosts the streaming numbers, but I am not listening. I am not listening. Unless your name is Aubrey Graham, Kendrick Lamar, and maybe Jermaine Cole, and that is a maybe. I am not listening to a 30-song album. Absolutely not. Absolutely. It could be fantastic. I mean, a 10 out of 10 greatest album of all. I am not listening under any circumstances, just about, to a 30-song album. That is egregious. That's 2 projects. You could have made a 15-song album, a 15-song album, cohesive, and you could have had 2 great projects. If you went 30 for 30, you could have had 2 great projects. Instead of just one long, just like, that's too long, bro. 30 songs is ridiculous. But y'all can let me know which ones are heat so I can go listen to those. But I am not listening to a 30-song album because that is just ridiculous. Alright, that's ridiculous. No matter how good of an artist you are, that is ridiculous. I don't care if you're Michael Jackson. It's ridiculous. 30 songs is way too much unless it's like a greatest hits album. Now, heading over to the soccer because, ladies and gentlemen, football is back, baby. I'm not talking about American football. That's in a couple weeks. Though we did have the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which I'll just kind of round up and talk about that then. But, yeah, Euro football is back. The Prem is back. League of One's back. We all back, all right? And with that said, Manchester United is, oh, God. New era with Erik ten Hag. Same Manchester United, at least that we've been used to in the past couple years. They lose 2-1 to Brighton. Embarrassing. They didn't even score the goal that they got. Technically, Brighton scored every single goal, and we were at Old Trafford. Varane and Ronaldo on the bench. Ronaldo wants out. It's a mess. Honestly, it's a mess. It was embarrassing. It was honestly embarrassing. An embarrassing opener for Manchester United, an embarrassing opener for Erik ten Hag. It's just been a sloppy offseason and a sloppy start to the season. This was the perfect start to the season for the way that this team has been ran this year. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Feel for the Red Devils fans, but I do not feel for Manchester United because it kind of led up to this. I'm not really surprised. However, for Manchester is no longer red, as we all know. It is definitely blue. And while Haaland didn't have the dream debut versus Liverpool in the Community Shield, versus Liverpool. When the dream start there, he did have the dream start actually in the Premier League season. He gets the brace versus West Ham today and looked like the Haaland of old. That run was perfect. I mean, that was Holland. That was Holland. It looks like the robot or the machine, whatever you want to call him. I call him the machine. It looks like he's back. It looks like he's back. And yeah, with KDB and just the Foden, just that entire Man City team feeding him, it looks like it's going to be a big season for Erling Haaland. And of course, he was injured last year, so he couldn't really, battle. And of course, Mbappe, which we're about to talk about, kind of separated from every other young player, if we're still calling them young players at this point, in the world last year. Haaland, of course, has been widely considered at number 2, and a lot of people saw Pedri and, all these people, maybe they're on his level. Well, Haaland's back to remind you, while it's just kind of everybody else, then him, then maybe Mbappe if you're talking young players in the world. But Haaland is back. He gets the brace in his debut. Man City looks scary once again. PSG. Now they play Clermont, so... But... no Mbappe, new manager. PSG destroyed Clermont 5-0. Neymar looked like Neymar. Alright, looked like the way Neymar is supposed to look. Please stay healthy. Just please, with everything good in the world, just stay healthy, Ney. Please. He goes 1 goal, 3 assists, hat-trick of assists. The last 3 people to get a hat-trick of assists in Liga 1 are Messi, Neymar, and Kylian Mbappe. Now, Mbappe, of course, is injured and did not play in this game, but Neymar and Messi held it down. Of course, Messi with that beautiful bicycle kick. He got a brace and I think an assist as well in this game. But yeah, perfect debut. I mean, perfect debut to the season for PSG. Of course, they played Clermont. This is what they're supposed to do. But they look much better. Looked much better. And once they get the guy that I called the best player in the world last year, once they get him back, and if he can incorporate into that team, then just, it could be the season. I'm not going to say it is, but maybe, just maybe, PSG can overcome their PSG-isms. Now, big question as I end off the soccer segment. Even though Barca is thrashing whoever they're playing right now, I saw before I started this, they might not be able to register all of their signings. Now, they had a great transfer window, which capsulated by the signing of Robert Lewandowski, but they might not be able to register Lua for like Champions League or even La Liga. So, yeah, problems financially for Barca, but what's new? With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the Roundup. And well, the big news, some of the big news in the sports world this week, I mean, certainly at the beginning of the week, has been the Oscar Piastri fiasco. Piastri, quite probably, if the F1 doesn't have, or Formula 1 does not have a prospect ranking like the MLB, but if there was a number 1 prospect, it will be Oscar. No questions asked. He won F3, he won F2, and before that he won the Euro Series. All in their first year, and he won them back to back to back to back. Now he's currently Alpine's kind of reserve driver for the year, so he's not really in a series, but still widely considered the number 1 prospect, if there is, once again, prospects in F1. Highly coveted. But, yeah, Alpine went earlier this week and announced that he would be joining them for the F1 season next year. Oscar said, "What are you talking about? That's cap." He's widely considered now to have signed with McLaren, even though nothing's official. The problem is McLaren has not given up a seat. There is no seat at McLaren that's supposed to be open for 2023. The only one that people are like, that could possibly open, is Daniel Ricciardo, the other Australian. And to add to that, because it seems like there must be one Australian in F1 at all times, Mark Webber, Australian F1 legend, was at Red Bull. He was replaced by Daniel Ricciardo at Red Bull. Now, Webber is Oscar's manager, and Ricciardo's at McLaren, and now it appears Oscar's going to replace Ricciardo. Time just going in a circle. But yeah, it's been a fiasco. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows if Ricciardo's going to get forced out. Nobody knows, what's to do with Alpine, who have lost like 5 different drivers in like 2 weeks. It's just a PR nightmare. A bunch of memes by Albon had a great one. It's just been madness. Alright, it's been madness. It's very similar to the IndyCar situation with Paolo earlier, but yeah, it seems like everybody's racing for McLaren apparently next year, and nobody's racing alongside Ocon at Alpine. I have no idea, but Oscar, we'll see what happens, but it's just been a fiasco. Highly entertaining, but an absolute fiasco in F1 this week. Even though it's looking like it might get rained out, Bubba Wallace got the first ever pole for 2311 Racing, and his first career pole, at least in the Cup Series. This week at Michigan, that Toyota looked very fast, and of course Ty's still filling in for Kurt. Actually won yesterday, so yeah, could be a big week. Could be a big week for the boys at 2311. And for you guys that do not know, to go more personal, even though I don't talk my personal life a lot here on this podcast, I will say, for those that do not know, some of you do know, I have been interning at 2311 this entire summer. It is my final week at 2311, and yeah. If you guys do see this, and just to put it out there, great place. I mean, an absolutely great place to work. A lot of times work did not feel like work. To be honest, it's just a lot of great people. That organization is going places. All right, it's going places. The drivers are great people. The crew is great people. It's just a family environment, and yeah, it's just a terrific place. So if you're any type of young person trying to get into NASCAR and you're looking for a team to start with, 2311 would be one I would absolutely recommend because, yeah, it was great. It was great to intern there. Learned a lot, made a lot of meaningful relationships and connections there. But, yeah, it was just fantastic. My experiences there was great. Of course, they took me to Indy, like you guys know, last week. And Charlotte earlier this year, so I got to kind of see the ins and outs of that. But, yeah, my time there has been fantastic. So, yeah, shout out to Steve, Ivana, George, Austin, Ashley, Kiera, Nikita, everybody, Carrie, Jamie, Davis, Sydney, just everybody. It's been a fantastic time there. So yeah, highly, highly appreciated of my time at 2311, and hopefully Bubba can bring it home this week. And if he does bring it home in the rain once again, we got to call him the Rain Man. That's got to be Bubba's new nickname. We're calling him the Rain Man. If it rains at Michigan and he wins again, we're calling him the Rain Man. All right, that's final. Paige Bueckers tore her ACL in some sadder news, as we are going to end on a very sad news, actually looking at these notes. Yeah, the best player in college basketball, at least on the women's side of the game, generational prospect. Looks like she's going to miss substantial time once again. It's just been, we've been robbed of her career. Got the big injury last year, took her out for a long time of her sophomore year, and then here we go again, out for her entire junior year with an injury to the same knee, and it's a torn ACL. So yeah, it looks like Paige is being de-rosed, but wishing her the best and wishing her to, you know, get back healthy as soon as possible and hopefully go back to being the Paige Bueckers we all know and love. With that said, looks like Caitlin Clark is going to probably be the #1 overall pick, so we'll see what Caitlin does this year. But this definitely opens up the women's college basketball game with Paige being out once again to a lot of uncertainty, with UConn probably not going to be as dominant as they've been. But yeah, wishing all the best for Paige, because it's just better for the women's game when she's there. She's supposed to be one of the trailblazers of this next generation, so it's just, like I said, the game is better with her healthy, so wishing her the best in her recovery. And to end off here, Vin Scully, legend, absolute legend, announcing legend, the voice of baseball, the voice of Dodgers baseball, passed away this past week. I don't even need to go through his achievements. He's Vin Scully. If you follow any type of sports, announcing, analyst, any type of that, if you follow baseball, you know who Vin Scully is, you know his impact, and yeah, you know his history. He's a man that needs no introduction. He needs no recap. He's Vin Scully, and yeah, absolute legend. He'll be missed in the LA community. He'll be missed in the MLB and just the baseball community. And we'll miss his voice, but his voice will be heard forever and ever and ever. And his legacy will last a very, 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 very long time. But rest in peace to Vin Scully. And actually, one more thing. Pro Football Hall of Fame, new class in this week. Congratulations. I think Tony Roselli, first for the Jaguars. Brian Young had a beautiful speech. And yeah, congratulations to everybody else. Devin has to better make it next year. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 105. Summer's over, but yeah, should be a very interesting fall. And of course, I'm heading into senior year, and you know that's got to be a movie. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, everybody say bye-bye to the Black Couch. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Ocho. signing off.